remember when. Hey guys, my name is Lindsay and I'm with Perfectly Pastry. Who's Perfectly Pastry? We are a local bakery in Waterloo, Illinois. How are you guys doing today? If you caught my live last week, you know that I have been holding on to a certain disgruntled situation in my life for several years. And my mom happened to go back and watch the video from last week. So if you haven't watched it, you should go back to last week and see when I tell you this. Anyway, so she watches it and I get this random text message, girl, get over it. And I was like, oh, she must be watching my live. Yes, if you're like, what are you talking about? Seriously, go watch it and you'll totally find out what I'm still holding on to now that I am past my 20s. We're just going to say past my 20s. How are you all doing this week? I got notifications going off everywhere. Like I was trying to do a one-to-one meeting with somebody and all of a sudden like we use Slack for that and it like my email was open. It was like ding, ding, ding. And then of course I had my phone next to me and of course like any millennial, I have my my inbox like on my phone and it was like ding ding ding. And I was like, I'm so sorry, let me try to mute some of this stuff. I'm like, I am so sorry. But yeah, it was with one of the girls I work with and she was like, oh, I get you, mine went off all of a sudden just a few minutes ago. I'm like, it's probably the same notifications, right? Anyway, so I've been trying this new model for my videos and like creating a nice little flow to things. By the way, my husband told me that I kind of ramble. I was like, how rude. Like if you're not helpful for my lives, don't tell me I ramble. I asked him, like, what do you think I should talk about? And he was like, oh, is this going to be a whole thing now on Facebook? And I was like, I'm sorry, but this wasn't long enough to be a Facebook Live. It was a whole thing yesterday. But he did. He was like, you ramble. I'm like, that's not nice. And like some people might want to listen to me ramble. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll get the housekeeping out of the way in the shop. It's been interesting. So what? It's almost the end of February. I don't even know. Oh, I should know what today is. That's what the whole life is about. Oh my gosh, my niece is gonna kill me. Okay, so February is almost over. And in the beginning of the year, I like set the intention for the year, right? Like I know you're thinking, girl, what are you talking about? So like I set the intention on how I expect my year to be. And so everything that I have been doing this year and every driving point in my businesses and everything that I'm working on is always it gets to be easy. Like, how can I make this easy? Why am I applying pressure? It gets to be easy. It gets to be easy. I've been working on setting up automations and flows, and I'm so excited because we are currently working on several changes in the shop that I am just so excited about. One of them being SKUs and barcodes. My sister and I are so excited. We are setting up a SKU system for the shop so that we can quickly check people out. Not only is it great for in the shop, but when we go into events and stuff, I don't know why we didn't think about doing this before, but we take our phones and we check people out on Square on our phones. And then I was like, oh, I guess we could bring a laptop, right? And I was like, it'd be even better. This was after Pumpkin Fest. Anyways, we were like, it would be even better if like when we go to the fest, we have barcodes and we can just easily scan people and check people out. So we were like, obviously the holidays, we had to put that on kibosh because the holidays are nuts around the shop. But we've been slowly working on, all right, let's get this SKU going. Let's get barcodes going. And so we've started setting that process into motion. And I'm so excited. It'll be so amazing and so quick when we like start checking people out. Yeah. So if you're like, oh, I'd love to hear more about how you set up SKUs in your bakery, let me know. I won't talk business on here. I know you guys are like, girl, we don't want to hear all the business talk that you can really go into. But if you're watching this and you're like, no, thank you, I'd like to know the business talk, DM me. I totally will give you the business talk and the behind the scenes and what we're using and how we're managing it. Because we use Zoho Books and Zoho One and Zoho Inventory for tracking all of our ingredients and tracking all of the product and all the orders. And obviously Zoho Books, that's our accounting system. Maybe not obvious, but that's what it is. It's our accounting system. But we use Square as a point of sale system. And so we're working on getting them to communicate. And I'm just automate. This year is about making it easy. This year is about automating some of the behind the scenes systems so that not everything is a manual process. And we're doing it in the bakery. I'm doing it in the other business that I'm working on. And I'm really, really excited about it. So there is my brief moment of housekeeping in the shop, my nerd out moment, because not a lot of people want to sit and listen to me talk about it. So I'm going to make you listen for just a few seconds, right? Okay. So I know I started out, I'm like, remember when you were 16? It's like, why are you bringing up that? Today is my niece's 16th birthday. I am so excited about it. I'm so happy for her. I'm so bummed that I don't actually get to see her for her 16th birthday. But my sister was gonna fly her out here for her 16th birthday, but they decided to save that. I think she's gonna save it for Halloween and come out for Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what she's going to do. But it's okay because I told you guys that I'm actually going to be in the shop. So I'm going to be up in Illinois. I think it's the 9th through the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. My sister has to have surgery. So that part of it is a bummer because she won't be able to hang out and run around with me. But I'm excited to be up there. So I'll get to spend time with my niece for her 16th birthday after the fact. It's actually going to be after both of our birthdays. So her birthday is this week. My birthday is next week. And then my other daughter's birthday is at the end of the month. So we're going to have like a big birthday party when I come into town. So I'm excited about it. I'm a little bummed I don't get to spend it with her today, but I still get to partake in some of the celebration. And so I thought I'd get on here today. And I was like, I should talk about my niece. And I'm like, but I don't want to because I don't want to embarrass her. Like, I obviously know a lot about her, right? But I don't want to say anything that she's gonna be like, girl, why did you say that? My watch just told me I hit my workout goal. Day. Mind you, I did go for a walk this morning, but I'm like sitting here flailing my arms around. It's like, girl, you're working out. Yeah, that's not neither here nor there. Anyways, I didn't want to like share a bunch of stuff that like she might get embarrassed about. So I thought I would rein it in. But I do want to share just like a few little things about her or like some memories about her, right? So I was lucky enough that I got to be in the delivery room when my niece is born. I remember everything about that day. I remember everything about being in the hospital with her. We were fairly young when my sister had Haley, and by the way, it's Haley's birthday. And I remember like being so unsure of what to do. Like I hadn't really experienced babies myself a whole lot, and I remember like not even knowing how to pick her up. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, help me figure out how to pick this baby up. It's come a long way since then. I keep all the kids in the summertime. My nieces come down, so I have my 3 kids and my sister's 2 kids, and we hang out for the summer. Then we head back up north and we hang out some more. So I spend a lot of time with the 5 of them, and I've done that for a really long time, keeping all 5 of them with me. So I have come a long way since that day when I was like, I don't know how to pick her up. I'm like, I mean, I know how to hold a baby, but I don't know how to pick the baby up. I remember that girl was born with so much hair. And I know we see all these adorable babies and they have all their hair and stuff. Like my niece was like that, like pitch black hair, and it could be put in a ponytail. At 3 months old, we literally had to get ponytails and put my niece's hair into a ponytail because it was just a hot mess all the time. And it's so funny because my eldest niece and my eldest daughter, they're 7 months apart, and my niece had so much dark hair. And then you had my daughter, and she had blonde hair, and she was like almost see-through. Like she was so pale. She's still very pale to this day. She hates when I say that. But like you could like see the veins in her head when she was a baby. Except for my daughter had these like really long hairs that came down to here. But that is not the same. I'm talking Haley had full-blown black curly hair that had to be put into a ponytail. It was so crazy. And I thought all babies were gonna have like more hair. I mean, I knew that they would never have hair like Haley. Haley's was a lot, but I thought they'd have more hair than my daughter did. I thought it was like gonna be in the middle, but no, it was like 2 extremes. I think Brianna's was just so blonde that like it didn't look like she had hair, and then Haley's was so dark you could totally see her hair. So funny, and they were like total opposite of each other. And the other crazy thing about Haley, this is a did you know fact about Haley. Haley started crawling at like 4 months old. By the way, I didn't really know like when children are supposed to crawl and sit up and eat on their own and all of that stuff. Like you kind of learn that when you're a parent. Like the doctors start telling you like you're expecting to hit these milestones and stuff like that, but you don't. I would assume people don't know that going in. I didn't know it going in. And I remember going with my sister for my niece's checkup, and it was like her 3 or 4 month checkup. And we go in, and the doctor, the doctor was just like, she crawling? And we're like, Yeah, like, yeah, she started crawling on us. We're like, we know, gotta start baby proofing the house and stuff. And then the doctor's just kind of looking at us and we're like, what? And she's like, wow, that's really early. And we're like, what? And she's like, yeah. And then we're like, how did you know? And she was like, she has carpet burn on her knees. I know it sounds so crazy. You're like, girl, you are blowing smoke up my hiney. And I promise you, I'm not. Because my sister and I were completely oblivious to the fact that she shouldn't be crawling. I feel like my mom kept saying, like, oh, that's really early. And we're like, oh, what does she know? Like, her kids are so old now. Like, it was so long ago. She probably doesn't remember. I don't care who you are, but when you have your first kid, you always think, doesn't matter who it is, you always think your kid is so old, like it's changed so much from then. Like that's just old news, right? You just do. Okay. I'm gonna just tell you that now. So yeah, we were like, yeah, okay, mom, whatever, whatever. But then when the doctor told us, we were like, oh, that's not normal. By the way, my daughter did not crawl that early. My daughter crawled normal 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. I know I should know that. I remember the fact that Haley crawled. I have no idea when Brianna crawled. I do remember I remember when she crawled. My husband's getting so mad. He gets so mad at me about this. I remember when she crawled because I was kind of like dozing off on the couch. And I remember looking up and she was like crawling. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, whatever. And then my husband had her later and I was like taking a nap and he came running in. And he's like, she crawled. And I was like, yeah, she did that earlier. And he's like, you didn't think to tell me? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I was really tired. I don't remember being very like, I was just like, oh my gosh, she's crawling. And then like, I don't remember what else happened. It was a long time ago, right? But for whatever reason, I didn't tell my husband. He was so mad at me. What a terrible wife. I was a terrible wife sometimes. What can I say? I was young. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was important. So I don't remember how old Brianna was, but I absolutely remember that story with Haley because I remember going into the doctor's and the doctor acting so bizarre. And we were like, why is she acting so weird? And she's like, she has carpet burn on her knees. And we're like, because she's crawling around. Like, duh. Yeah. That actually doesn't happen. Who would have thunk it, right? Those are like some of my favorite things. Like I remember Haley loved to sing as a baby, like before she ever spoke. And those of you who know her now, like she is involved with choir and the musical at school, and she loves to sing at school, but we can't get her to really sing in public. But she did when she was little. I mean, like, did not speak words really, and would like y'all don't want to hear me sing, but that song is like, I keep bleeding, I keep bleeding, love. Okay, trust me, you don't want me to sing that one. She would like make sounds and like at the top of her lungs, like y'all know how babies make like babbly sounds, babbling, baby sounds. That was a mix between babble and baby, babbling, baby babble. And so she would like do it to the tune of these songs, like all the time. It was so funny. Like she loved it. And I remember that she would shout up the stairs with me when I would like call my husband. I'd say, David, like whatever I needed because I'm loud and I just shout up the stairs. There's no way I'm walking up those stairs. So I'd like shout up at him. And I remember her like being on my hip and she wasn't really talking much. Like one of her first words were baby because Brianna was in the house with her and like she loved Brianna. She still loves Brianna. And so one of her first words were baby. But she would be like, like make that sound whenever I'd call David. She would mock me and be like, up the stairs at him. Like I totally remember that. But okay, I won't share any more stories because I don't want her to be like, girl, because that's the attitude we get these older teenagers. I don't know what's up with them. They're like, girl, why are you always talking about me? I'm like, I'm not talking about you. I'm just sharing my love about you, right? So then the other thing I thought I would tell you guys about is the time my sister turned 16. So another bad sister moment. First, I had a bad wife moment. Now I'm going to tell you a bad sister moment. I missed my sister's 15th birthday. I was preoccupied with friends and I did not go to my sister's 15th birthday. To this day, I still feel terrible. I seriously want to cry when I think about it. My sister and I are super close. My best friend totally missed her 15th birthday. So when she turned 16, I thought I am going to make this the best thing ever. I like had this grand plan and I thought it was an amazing plan. My sister and my mom, not so much. So here's what my plan was. I worked at Bob Evans at the time. So I went out and I bought all kinds of balloons and I had everybody on the shift help me blow up balloons. And I took like my manager was really super nice and like the big trash bags for the big trash cans. She let me take them and we put all the balloons in all these bags. Okay. And by the time, like back then I had this little Ford Escort. Okay. And I had like 4 ginormous trash bags filled with balloons that I had everybody blow up. But I'm in my car. I remember I probably should not have driven home, but I did. Like I tried to scooch around and see, but like they took up my car. I remember I went out and I got rose petals and I got my sister this piñata that I stuffed with a bunch of candy and stuff. And I got window chalk. Oh yes, this is where the story is going. So I remember I got home and I got up super, super early and I put confetti and balloons and rose petals all in my sister's car, okay? And then I took and I put rose petals and glitter and everything up the stairs and then into the bedroom and all over my sister's bed. And then I put her piñata in her car and then I wrote all over her windows, Sweet 16, honk, she's 16, happy birthday, baby sister. Like, I just decorated her car just out of love, all kinds of things, right? So, the problem with that was then my mom and my sister had to clean that all up. I had to go to school because I was still in school. I went to school, and my sister and my mom had to clean that all up before they could take my sister for her driving test. Oops. Like they had to scrape it off the windows. They had to vacuum out the car and take all the balloons and the rose petals and the confetti and all the chalk paint off the car. Probably not the best idea I've ever had. I meant it with all the love in the world, right? And obviously I had to make up for the fact that I totally ditched my sister on her 15th birthday. I know, terrible sister. But yes, so then I like went all out for her birthday and made it so bad because she couldn't take her test. Like she had to spend all this time cleaning up her car. And because I had to be at school, I couldn't even help them. I I did it and then went to school because my sister, I knew that they were going to get up after me because my sister was going that morning to go take her driver's test. Like my sister was missing school to go do all of that jazz. So I did it all and left. Like I went to school and I was like, hey, she's going to be so excited. Yeah, that was my sister's Sweet 16. They got it cleaned up. She got her driver's license. I mean, what else can I say? But yeah, so I was like, nobody decorate Haley's car because that's a bad idea. Done that. Bad idea. Don't do that. My sister's like, trust me, that was not even in the agenda for the day. But yeah, so it is my niece's Sweet 16. I'm really, really excited for her. She is going to go take her test today. So good luck with that girl. Actually, I'm not sure, but I don't know if she actually has to take the driving part of it because she took driver's ed in school and got all these hours. So I think she can just go and get it. I don't really know. I didn't ask. So that'd be interesting. And I'm so proud of her. She has been ready to get a job. Even my daughter is ready to get a job. I'm like, who is beating down the door to go get jobs? These girls. Anyway, so she's already got jobs lined up. She already made a phone call and now has an interview for this job. She is rocking and rolling and I couldn't be more proud of her. And I really can't wait until I get to see her in a couple of weeks. I'm so excited. But anyway, so yes, I just wanted to dedicate this live to my niece since it is her Sweet 16. I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys did on your Sweet 16 or if anybody surprised you for you guys' Sweet 16. Like I said, I totally surprised my sister on her Sweet 16. Yes. If you're watching this video on Facebook, you should be liking and following us on Facebook. If Facebook's not your jam, totally understand that. We are on other social media. Facebook is the only one that we are at Perfectly Pastry. All the other social media, we are at Perfectly Pastry. I said that wrong. Facebook is the only one that we're at Perfectly Pastry Bakery. There is a very important part to that. It says Facebook is at Perfectly Pastry Bakery. All the other ones are at Perfectly Pastry. All right, you guys, I'm going to hop off of here. You guys have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you again next week.